What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling fantastic today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really does mean a lot to me, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void, of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be great, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. So Cancer, Moon's still chilling at home. Hope you had a nice little time to reflect, and if not, take a little more time. But with the Moon being in Cancer, this is a very intuitive time for us, you know. You may notice that you might feel a little more sensitive than normal, or maybe feeling a little more emotional. So be with those, Cancer, as those feelings come up, you know. But also, this is might be feeling more nurturing, maybe a little more involved in like the home space. Maybe you want to clean up around the house. I don't know, maybe cook up some nice stuff, you know, get some lovely smells going through your place of residence, and just, I don't know, it's just very just warm, just kind of like that kind of nuzzle up, and just not, you know, just kind of forget your worries for a little while. So enjoy the Moon in Cancer, because you know she is. And then also, Cancer, while you're chilling at home, you can, the Moon is in a first quarter phase. Okay, hold on. Okay, the Moon is in the first quarter phase. And with the first quarter phase, Cancer, things are starting to pick up. Oh, wow, Cancer. We're still reflecting, but we'll get into that in a second. Jeez. What were we talking about? Oh, first quarter stuff. Lunar shenanigans. With the first quarter phase, Cancer, this is a time to make sure that our actions are lining up with our intentions. You know, whatever you set out during the cycle, again, no matter how big or how small, you know, as long as it's moving, or we're noticing that we're taking steps towards making this like a habit or a routine, or there's progress being made, dope, Cancer, because, you know, things are picking up with this first quarter. So, you know, this is decision time. Let's start manifesting. And then lastly, well, a couple other things. These readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And the decks that I'm working with are all down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested there, Cancer. But come on, Cancer, this is almost obnoxious. Not even obnoxious, intuitive. Look at you, just syncing up with the Moon. Because you got the fourth card of Cancers here, which is the Mirror card. And, you know, the Moon and Cancer, you know, we're involved with the fourth house, so something to think about, Cancer. Oh, but this card is about being self-aware, so seeing clearly. I could keep this up all day, Cancer. Ego, facing issues, self-assessment, self-improvement. Okay, let me stop. Insecure, make comparisons, reflection, obsessed, narcissistic, vain, self-love, self-appreciation. Cancer. If this don't scream, just go find yourself, do some self-care, self-improvement. I mean, this is what the lunar cycles are all about. This is what the Moon tries to set us up for, like always. So keep that in mind, Cancer. You know, when you think about how far you've come in life, you know, reflect on that. See what areas that you really brought it. See what are some areas you wish you would have brought more, you know? And then we improve from there. Like this Mirror, you know, Cancer, if we have any sort of like, because I'm just thinking with these facing issues, if we have any sort of like confidence issues, or however this looks, you know, this could be maybe like low self-esteem, you know, maybe we don't feel as attractive as we would like to, or maybe, you know, we wish I don't know, maybe we want to change up our diet, how we eat, like whatever these issues may be, Cancer. I feel like this mirror is saying, to when we're dealing with this, like all these lunar cycles and setting out for improvements, really sitting down when we're being intentional and mindful when we're picking out what we want to start. Because self-improvement only goes as far as you actively apply it, And if we try to attempt something that is going to eventually where it's like, let's say for example, if we started working out and we wanted to do like a 3K and we went maybe a little too hard and started to try running like a mile every day. And after a while, that's for anybody, that's going to be a lot after a while. And it can get to where we're discouraged, discourages us. But I feel like Cancer, this is saying like, okay, if you see like, maybe you saw other people running, you thought that was your jam, that doesn't have to be your jam. You can, this mirror card, I feel like it's like make these self-improvements work for you, be and work with whatever tools that you're working with, because Jim's gonna learn, may learn faster than Sally, but Sally's more physically fit than Jim. It's just like, and so how they're gonna grow is gonna look different when they're focusing on their weaker parts. But I hope that this makes sense, Cancer, because this really to me is kind of like a continuation off of yesterday, really kind of getting right familiar with who you are and really understanding, what ways you want to improve and how do you see yourself as the amazing Cancerian that I see whenever you pull energies in front of me? And if not, how do we get in that energy? How do we feel more confident that we can accomplish things, that we can rise above? And I don't know, Cancer, let's see how we can work with this energy here, because this is interesting. Wow, Cancer, come on. So our card came out, okay, so settle in, Cancer, because this is about to be a deep one, because the Queen of Moons popped up in reverse. And Cancer, and you got the Ace of Stars here, which is dope, because I feel like what's going to happen when we take some time and kind of reflect and to really... This really, Cancer, if there are any areas that we're feeling out of balance, or that we know that we're struggling with, then this, I feel like it's time to not put like blinders over the mirror, you know what I mean? I feel like this is energy saying to really see whatever things that you wanted to work on, or maybe some kind of issues that we may have buried down, whatever that is. And Cancer, as it makes sense, like, because if this is like a deeper type of like trauma type of stuff, and regardless, we don't want to rush these things, but we do want to get in the idea of healing, of facing this healing, because if we ignore these issues, no matter how deep down they are, even if we're not aware of them, they're going to still hold a grip on us. And I know that I hope that makes sense, because it's like I'm thinking of like more so kind of like maybe like past trauma, maybe from like childhood and things like that, or maybe from adolescence, whatever, Cancer. But there's it's like, yes, like Ace of Stars can be like abundance. This is the Ace of Pentacles in traditional decks. But Cancer, this really feels like focusing on all the ways that, one, you're abundant, two, how like focusing on like your health, because the Pentacles deal with more than just money. This is like it covers a broad aspect of things, because what I said, what I leave off with: money, health, how you manifest, your resources outside of money, how we doing on clothes, how we doing on food, like all of this stuff. But I feel like, Cancer, in order for you to really get this bounty that's being presented here, there's something here that's wanting to be seen, Cancer. I feel like with this Queen of Moons popping up in reverse. And it's something that I feel it's going to get you. It may hurt at first, when it's whatever this looks like, Cancer, or maybe it might be difficult or whatever. But that's part of the process. And as you start dealing with it and start facing this stuff, it gets a lot easier, and you get that emotional intelligence, because that's what Queen of Cups is about. We don't run away from the emotions and the issues, Cancer. We face them head on. It's like, all right, what is it? Because like we were talking about yesterday, if you're like, if you feel depressed or anything like that, it's like you, or if you say like, I'm depressed or I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that. Cancer, you are not those things. Those are things that you're experiencing right now. And it's like, it's just being, I hope this is making sense, Cancer, because let's get some more on this. Interesting. Okay, so we got 5 of moons here, and then we have the new moon card. In the new moon card, Cancer, it's putting in that shadow work and really figuring out what do you want to work on. This whole thing is like, if we've, in Cancer, this is something where if we haven't been, maybe setting, like being intentional with setting our goals, it's fine. You don't have to, like, it's one of those things, like maybe you think like, oh, well, it might be too late. Like, I'm already in the middle of the lunar cycle here. Well, I can't start. Like, of course you can, Cancer. You can always start that shadow work and figure out, because we were talking about this yesterday too, with just like cycles. We are such a cyclical sign that we can literally pick up and start whenever, Cancer. Like, literally, we just have, like, we're just always ready. So I really think that, Cancer, this is worth your time to really just kind of do a deep dive and figure out what areas in our lives that we may have felt hurt, or maybe felt disappointed, or felt sad, or just and to start thinking about letting that stuff go, to tell ourselves like a different narrative, and get closer to getting that confidence, getting that abundance. Because really, Cancer, when you start focusing on these issues, everything starts lining up. You focus, if your mental health has been off, when we start working on that, then if it's been affecting our physical, then, like, things start, it all just kind of snowballs into this like lovely little healing session here, but we got to put in the work for it, Cancer. And because this card is Mars and Scorpio, and if in order to transform Mars energy, we gotta do it, because in the 5 of moons, normally there's like 3 cups that are like kind of spilled out, and we're just kind of focusing on the fact that we focus on the problem so much instead of looking behind us and seeing like, oh, there are 2 solutions to these problems already. Normally there's like a river, it's a whole thing, Cancer, but. Yeah, there's just something here I feel like that's wanting to be addressed. And if it's something that if you in Cancer, you know what this thing is, like whatever this is, let's get eyes on it, and like really get some eyes on. Let's not just get eyes on it, because I feel like this is something it's like we're aware, but we're not paying attention. Like, we're choosing, it's like that selective vision, and that's fine, Cancer. You're in a safe space here, but you know what? When you're dealing with this stuff, make sure that you're in a safe space, because sometimes this stuff can be a lot to deal with, and be in an environment where you feel safe to feel this stuff, and practice self-love and self-appreciation and all of that, Cancer. More? All right, Cancer, let's get some challenges. Let's see what's going on here. Because, Cancer, you got to think too, with this deck, there are 108 cards in here, and we get back-to-back Cancer cards and Cancer moons, come on. And then here's some challenges, Cancer, because you got the 7 of Wands here. And the 7 of Wands, when we don't, because the 7 of Wands is really kind of overly critical type of energy here, Cancer. And if we are at a place where we talk down to ourselves, or say that we're not good enough, or anything along those lines, if we're just even just like overly critical, I feel like this is really a time to really practice, again, like the self-appreciation, the self-love, gratitude, and I mean, you know how I feel about affirmations. I'm all about that, and I'm honestly thinking, Cancer, I actually was thinking about something this morning, so I may be a little more aggressive with the affirmations. So stay tuned, but. this is something that if we're feeling critical about where we're at on our journey or about a certain aspect of ourself or something along those lines, Cancer, I feel like instead of staying, critical of these things, this is Saturn in Leo. And instead of, like, when you think about Saturn, Saturn's a planet of restrictions. Leo's like confidence, creativity, and all of that. But if we keep ourselves where we're overly critical and just like restricting ourselves all the time, that's going to affect our confidence. It's going to affect our growth and all of that, Cancer. But if you're kinder to yourself and it's like, okay, well, yes, I may fall short in this area, but how can I improve that? How can I feel stronger? And again, it's not going to look like how this looks like on you, or you may not look like the same on another person. But if it's towards the same goal, it doesn't matter. And actually, it doesn't matter with the other person anyway. Like, they have nothing to do with your growth. This is especially because this is Cancer. This really feels like a good time to just like really nurture yourself more. And be kind to yourself, because really your thoughts become things. And if we keep perpetuating that whatever narrative that we're saying, then that's gonna permeate in your world, and it's just a lot. And then it's a lot more. Oh yeah, we're getting more. That's right. Yeah, interesting, Cancer. Day 2 of reflection. And Cancer, with all this reflection, you got the Knight of Swords here. What do you want to do with this information about yourself? Like, do you... what do you want to do? That's what, like, I thought he had more, but sometimes the Knight of Swords can be a little glib. It's just like, Cancer, I mean, it's, Cancer, the moon won't enter depending on when you're watching this, the moon won't enter Leo until like tomorrow evening, like around, like, I think it's around maybe 5. I have to double check. You know what? Let me actually double check real quick, Cancer. Yeah, about 5:30. So, take this moment, like, I like, because really, so the energies are being like almost aggressive about it, like. Figure yourself out, Cancer. Figure all the ways that you may be keeping yourself down and maybe hindering your growth. If it's stuff we tell ourselves, if it's stuff we do, people we may be around. However, because that, Cancer, that's another thing. Like, the people that we keep around us, are they raising our vibrations? Do they keep us where we're feeling kind of weird? Like, and if so, what is that? Is it because, like, maybe what they're saying is, actually mean, or is it a truth and we don't want to hear it, Cancer? That's a whole other thing. But take that as it resonates more. All right, Cancer, because look at this. All our royalty minus this Knight here is all up in reverse, because we're King of Stars, Cancer. This, I really feel like, is, again, really focusing on you and realizing in all the ways that you are abundant, in all the ways that, not even just like you yourself, but how you bring abundance to other people's lives, Cancer. Because this is something that, like, the King of Pentacles, and it's he, wherever he goes, he's grateful, because, like, there's abundance all, like, there everywhere it's a gift, everything that's around him, even if it's not, like, I'm not quite sure how to put this, Cancer, but it's not that I don't feel like you're not grateful or anything like that, but I feel like, saying more kinder things for yourself, practicing, because sometimes it's just like, oh gosh, I hate my hair, or I hate these clothes, or I hate this apartment, or I hate my cup. I hope you don't hate all these things, Cancer. And if we have been just slinging a bunch of hate around, Cancer, What do you love? Let's balance some of this stuff out here, because the Temperance card is a card of balance and being, again, mindful of what you're manifesting. Because if we're staying in that kind of negative self-talk, whatever, is going to, it affects everything. It starts off in one area, and then if it's not addressed, Cancer, it does. It bleeds into one stuff until, bam, you got a Tower moment. And then, bam, Death card, bam, Hanged Man, you know? And those aren't to scare you, but they are, you know, the universe is like gentle nudge of just like, hey, how you're operating right now isn't conducive to this growth here, King of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, what you doing? So, Cancer, let's do some things that are going to get us back zen again, you know, and get that where we're feeling like we're on the right track, and that we're feeling confident in our purpose and our everything. So let's get some advice from the moon. See if the moon's going to give us a little pick-me-up here, because that's something, Cancer. Interesting. All right, we got the Wanderer here. Wanderer in reverse, and then we got the Magician in reverse, Cancer. And this is what I feel like happens, Cancer, when we ignore that healing, that voice in our head that wants us to, or those signs that indicate that there's healing that needs to be done. It affects our manifesting. You know, the Magician affects it affects how we create and just how we're operating in everything. It really messes the flow up, Cancer. And really, just like, and I mean, the fact that you got 2 of the 3 kind of like really special major arcana cards on top of that, Cancer, this really I feel like is a time to like go on, like almost like when I'm thinking just like of the Wanderer, almost like go on a discovery of self, you know, whether that be if it's in like your home space, or if we can find somewhere, if we could go to like a park maybe, or maybe go, if you want to go on like a camping trip, or maybe go however this looks, Cancer. But just whenever you get some time, take some time for you and just be in your energy for a while. Because sometimes, Cancer, we can take on other people's energies even when we're not even being, you know, actively, you know, aware of it. And sometimes it can, you know, that kind of stuff can just kind of cling to us. And if we don't, you know, kind of cleanse that, you know, that energy off of us, who knows how that we may attach to that. So yeah, just, you know, taking some time, maybe doing, maybe if you're feeling like the energies have been a little stagnant, even in like your own home, you know, like we were talking about, maybe doing some stuff around your place, you know, maybe bring in some like incense, you know, to bring in some fresh smells, you know, to cleanse the air, or even, you know, have we let some fresh air in, Cancer? Maybe crack a few windows open, maybe do some cleaning, maybe some rearranging, you know, maybe switch up some things. If you've been thinking like, man, I want to move that couch up against this wall instead of here, let's do it. Like, why not? Cancer, I just reorganized some stuff in the cabinets just earlier this morning, just kind of on a whim, not even really thinking about it. But those little things, it's the little things, Cancer, that when we start, you know, kind of compounding this stuff, because this is not something that that you need to like have figured out all at once. But as long as we're taking steps towards that, those little steps all build into this just wonderful Queen of Cups. So let's get some more on that, Cancer. All right, Cancer, 5 of stars anymore? Okay. Let's switch back over here, Cancer. So with this 5 of stars, Cancer, this is a tough card, because sometimes it can feel when we're especially when we're in sort of like a negative spiral, whether that be we're talking, you know, lowering our vibrations in the sense, you know, maybe saying mean things to ourselves, or whatever that's looking like. It can just feel like we're all alone, and that it really paints this just sort of like intense kind of somber, just like, but I feel that this is something where Cancer, you're not alone. And if this is something, if we do feel like we maybe need to want to maybe discuss this with someone, Cancer, this is good energy too, to be around those we really trust, those who we really consider family, and maybe opening up and seeing where that may take you, because even just thinking about in numerology, these the numbers on those cards are based off of 1 through 9 in numerology, and 4 is about getting stability back. And if we got to reach out to someone, but just like make sure that we're giving this some attention, Cancer, because if we just ignore this stuff, it becomes this like it's like your mole, what's that saying? Your anthill's becoming a mole, a mountain. I don't know. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. Cancer is becoming, things are blowing up. So let's just throw some nurturing on that. Throw some Cancerian energy on that, and let's do some healing. So I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. That's a tough one. This is some interesting energy, and if that resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, because and I know that's not to just say like, oh yeah, you like the video, more so that let that be an indicator, if you are going through something like this, that if others are thumbs up, like, you get it, like you're not alone. There are other people that are go through this. Cancer, this can happen. It ebbs and flows, but remember, it's not that you're not these, whatever emotions come up, you're not that energy. You're experiencing that. Remember the word we learned yesterday, experiential wisdom, Cancer. That's how we become intuitive. That's how Queen of Moons does it. And share this, Cancer, if you know someone who may be going through this, and Cancer, if this is someone that's really close to you, because maybe this is someone that maybe this is someone you're trying to help along, Cancer. This is something we can't. I know where our instinct, we just want to nurture all day and be there for them, when they want to, but I feel that, like, if this is like a friend, a family member, or a loved one, however that's looking, let them set the pace, like, just be ready, be ready to, give that, like, who needs a hug? But, let's not force the hugs, because sometimes I feel like, Cancerians, we want to help people feel better. So, let them come to us. And in the meantime, you can focus on your reserves. We can be getting the area all nice and pretty for when they do come through this, come to this healing. But, and then, if, once we've done some healing and all that, once they're feeling good, subscribe, hit that bell button. You get notified when I have these videos each week. Social media, I'm got some stuff that I'm thinking about. Just, me, Cancer, always just thinking about stuff, and we'll see. I'm just, Instagram is Instagram, Facebook is Facebook. They all they're serving their purpose, but. Cancer. But I am on Insight Timer. That's a new space I'm trying to, just like, if you aren't already on there, but it's not my app. It's just like an app that I like working with. Great for meditation and reflection, and they have nice little guided meditation, just all kinds of stuff, especially if we're going through stuff like this, Cancer. But I made a group on there called Zodiac Rays and the Vibration. And it's just a group that I drop positive affirmations every day. And it's for you to do the same. If you think of any affirmations or enlightening messages, words of wisdom, whatever that's looking like, Cancer, drop it in the group. Or if you just need something like a little pick-me-up to get you through or help your person get through this time, then it's yours, Cancer. It's a treasure trove. Whatever, whenever you want it, it's there for you. And as the group grows, it wouldn't be nice to just like I want to do something where it's like, void of course with the Queen of Moon or Queen of Cups or something like that, where it's like we're all meditating during the void of course time, and when it's not like at a crazy hour. But, and who knows, maybe even then, maybe we'll just, who knows, Cancer. But that's social media. I'm just like, hold on, one more thing. Check your sun, moon, rising. Check your chart, Cancer. While you're reflecting, Time Passages is a good app. I mean, I enjoy that one. So I feel like it covers a range for everybody, whether you're a beginner or advanced in astrology or studies, whatever. That's a good app, I feel like, to get you started. And then understand the energies that you're working with, Cancer, because it really does bring a whole different insight when you know what you're working with and see your strengths and see what areas that need to be improved. But once you get done doing all that, oh, and if you want to know like the ones that really kind of tie to you, you know, your sun, moon, rising are your big three. And then Mercury's how you communicate, Venus, how you love, and Mars, how we take action, how our energy is utilized. So just check that out and come check out my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do videos weekly there. I think I'm about to change that up. I think I'm just gonna do I'm finishing up one more round of like the business spreads, but I think I'm gonna change them back to just being like weekly spreads, because I'm doing business and everyone's talking about love and nothing business like, so I'm just like, psh, well, whatever. Nature, my problem, Cancer. But come check it out, and that's Alchemist 8, and all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card here so I can get you out of here, Cancer. I love that. Fantastic, Cancer. You got the 7. I think we got that yesterday. 7 of stars, and that's a great finisher there. And then we got the Serpent card, Cancer. Well, you got it in reverse. But this card, I feel like, it's like when you really start understanding your charts, and even if we don't look into our charts, just to understand yourself, just period. It really unlocks, just like that energy within, it just, I feel like you invest in yourself, really. So the abilities that you're going to discover are going to be amazing, Cancer. And I feel like how you show up and show out is going to really blow you away. But with the 7 of stars, it's something that you got to invest in yourself. We got to, if an area feels weak, or if we know where we want to improve, let's do that, Cancer. And then watch, you're gonna be, you see how we started with this new moon here. The Queen of Moons will be gripping the full moon in no time, and you'll be feeling like yourself again, Cancer. Then we'll have something to celebrate, because more Queen of Cups are growing and evolving, and it's a beautiful world, Cancer, that that we're getting ready to build here. But I'll leave that there, Cancer. So with this energy, and just in general too, but stay safe out there. And if we're having trouble raising our own vibration, or if we're raising someone's vibration, no, Cancer, you're not in this alone. This is not just 5 of stars, I may not be able to be there in physically, but I'm there in spirit, Cancer. Feel the energy where we're raising that vibration together. Ace of stars all the way. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.